What it means when I say the media silences the voice of the truth. We're here to represent the authentic Jewish view on Zionism. As everybody knows, Zionism and Zionists perpetrate the Jewish people to justify the atrocities they're doing in Gaza. They've always taken on a shell to represent the Jewish people since the beginning of their existence. And they use the spilled blood of our people in exile to justify the need to make a state and what they call protection, which is a massacre. They do in the name of the Jewish people. Contrary to what is publicized by Zionists, the Jewish people is a religious entity based on our Torah, and the Torah forbids the making of any state in exile. We are obliged to live peacefully under the nations which give us shelter. We are forbidden to stand up and fight against any nation to make a state. Zionism was not a religious entity in its root. It was created by a completely secular person who lived a disgusting, immoral, low lifestyle. Theodor Herzl, may his name be obliterated, hated Judaism and always the two tasks of Zionism from its creation was to make a Jewish state and to distort the entity of the Jewish people from a religious entity into a secular entity and make them a nation. And the propaganda in Israel, victifying Arabs as our enemies and trying to put into their hearts of the people that we have no way of existence if we don't lean on the state of Israel, is extremely strong. I can testify that I lived in the state of Israel 4 years. I've never heard of what is happening in Gaza. These things are not let into the street by the religious people. That women and children are being beaten. Pregnant women are dying in childbirth at checkpoints. None of this is let out into the street. The Arabs are depicted as enemies. They're depicted as everyone as murderers. Nobody has told the true history of Zionism. We lived under Arab countries before Zionism came about. Zionism didn't start in 1948. It started 120 years ago. We lived for hundreds of years under Muslim countries peacefully. They were a safe haven for us. When we were being oppressed in Europe, we ran to Turkey, we ran to Palestine to take refuge from what we were going through. In order for Zionists to get support for their actions, they have to have a depiction of Arabs as murderers, and they must depict all Jews as Zionists. When a Muslim will think that all Jews are Zionists, so he will vent out his rage on the atrocities on Jews. When a Jew sees that a Muslim vents out his rage on Jews, he thinks he's anti-Semitic, and therefore he supports the state of Israel. When the state of Israel has support from Jews, then they're able to continue with their atrocities. We have to take away this lie. Muslims and Jews, this conflict is not about Islam and Judaism. Judaism is against the atrocities which are being done in Gaza. These settlers who call themselves religious have thrown away from themselves the way which our forefathers gave to us. We were taught never to kill, never to steal land. We are ordered to remain in our exile until we have a redemption. The redemption will not be through political means, it won't be an imperialistic operation. It will be a knowledge of God for every human being. We will live in peace. And so we're coming here, even if the BBC will never allow our voices to be heard, and the Zionists will refuse to publicize anything we are saying, we must come and raise our voices and say over again, our authentic Judaism is 100% against the atrocities which are being done. It's against the taking of land. It's against the existence of the state of Israel. And we're praying for a peaceful dismantlement of the state of Israel. The land should be returned to Palestinian sovereignty. And we'll be able to live with the Muslims together in Palestine, peacefully.